Focus, ideate, innovate, enable.
The World Economic Forum recently rated Bengaluru over Silicon Valley and London as the most dynamic city in the world, fortifying brand Bengaluru on the international stage and showcasing its collective technological strength across verticals. The government of Karnataka co-located its flagship events, 20th edition of Bengaluru ITE Biz, 17th edition of Bengaluru India Bio, and 3rd edition of Bengaluru Maker Fair under one umbrella event called the Bengaluru Tech Summit 2017. With the focal theme Ideate, Innovate and Invent, the summit brought together thought leaders, technocrats, researchers, innovators, investors and policymakers from different streams, paving the way for interdisciplinary dialogue and collaborations leading to emergence.
It is my dream to establish Karnataka as a global technology hub and a leader in new and emerging industries. Our government has taken concrete steps and continues to design policies and schemes in alignment with the grand vision for Karnataka, a global technology leader and a pioneer in driving inclusive growth. Technologies such as MedTech and Agri-Tech are being adopted towards the goal of inclusive growth. This new way of growth focuses on not limiting the economic benefits of growth to a certain strata of the society, but adopt an inclusive approach which brings each and every member of the society under the umbrella of development.
Today we are one of the top 5 R&D ecosystems in the world that has spun off a lot of innovations, and we are also the second best ecosystem for startups. So I see the shift in slowly moving from services to innovations. I'm proud to tell you, Karnataka thinks ahead of time. Karnataka is a visionary state. Even before the government of India does something, we do it. It has been an incredible year for startups which have continued their exponential growth over the last few years. The scale of operation in Karnataka for startups far surpasses any other state. The future is in Karnataka because the quality of startups is getting better every year, and the industry connections are only going to make Karnataka an innovation hub.
The 3-day summit on leading-edge technologies that are changing the world attracted more than 11,000 visitors, over 3,000 delegates, 267 speakers and 250 exhibitors. Eminent personalities deliberated on thought leadership, while expert speakers gave insights into the latest industry trends and innovators presented their path-breaking ideas.
This year we thought that as we are converging and more new technologies are emerging and they are benefiting from each other, we should talk about the emerging technologies, and that's the reason why we renamed it as Bangalore Tech Summit.
The whole idea is to expose people to a very wide range of emerging technologies and also get people to interact with product companies, with startups as well as the services companies. We believe that Bangalore is now moving from being the R&D capital to being the innovation capital. So we wanted to put the spotlight on Bangalore.
The opening plenary CEO panel discussion threw light on emerging technologies, and renowned leaders from automotive, IT and life sciences sectors shared real-life use test cases on how artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, machine learning, etc. will shape our future.
Let me set the stage by asking each one of you to give us one example of convergence of technology and how that has truly changed the game in your respective sectors. Perhaps a possibility that you never thought would happen about 8 to 10 years ago. Nachiket, would you like to begin?
From my perspective, I mean, the sky's the limit, driven by convergence, given by sort of decreasing costs of technology, and also driven by just the fact that there is so much capital that's available for companies, right? And from our perspective, we are sort of looking at innovating new ways of doing business.
Nivriti, would you like to add to that? When we speak of convergence of technologies, what is that one possibility that you could have never imagined a couple of years ago?
So Mridu, if I may, I'll share two quick ones.
Sure.
Because they touch me really from within the bottom of my heart. I don't know of any one person sitting in this room. If there is one, I'll be very, very happy, who has not lost a family member to cancer. And I'm sure there's none in this room who has not lost a family member or friend to the traffic accident's death. I for sure certainly have. And I will tell you, the technology powered by artificial intelligence, technology powered by robotics, technology powered by connectivity. So the convergence that Mridu was talking about is all coming here. Very soon you will hear robots that can be eaten, they'll be edible, and they'll be killing cancer cells by themselves using artificial intelligence. That's one. The traffic accidents, I'm sure each one of us, in whichever way or form, will contribute to avoid the deaths that happen on the roads. Just to share one last sentence with you, in the world, by the time Mridu finishes this panel, 140 people would die because of road accidents. In India alone, 17 people will die. And we are working very hard to bring all technologies together to avoid that.
I think there are 3 or 4 mega trends which are going to completely transform and change the world in which we live. Number one is digitalization, which there are a lot of experts sitting in this panel who will talk about it. Number 2 is rapid urbanization. I think that's another very important aspect which is leading to a lot of things which are happening, especially in the automotive sector. Number 3, the concern for environment and sustainability. The automotive sector has really stood up to its promise, brought in lots of changes. Electromobility is one. Autonomous driving is another. I will talk in more detail about these.
Yes.
We are talking of alternate fuels because the problem is so complex that simply electric vehicles will not solve the complete problem. We will have to use all tools in the box to solve the problem. So we're talking of alternate fuels, we are talking of methanol economy, we are talking of safety. As Nivriti said, we have a vision of zero emission, zero downtime and zero accident.
Sequencing of DNA and genomics as of this year has entered the second half, right? So the cost that we saw in 2000 of $300 million to sequence one genome today is fast approaching $300, right?
Wonderful.
Now this has changed the game entirely. And today to actually, for any cancer patient anywhere in the world, to actually know what has driven the cancer in the DNA makes a huge difference to how they will be treated.
Right.
Right? And that's a game changer. And for us at Strand, we actually had to accelerate the pivot from being purely a scientific annotation company for the genome to actually a healthcare company.
The B2B trade show was back with renewed vigor, with focused pavilions on various industry verticals, serving as an ideal platform to provide a fillip to trade and commerce. The trade show served as the meeting ground for 200 plus exhibitors, over 3,000 delegates and more than 14,000 business visitors from across the globe.
Here we are creating maps for Karnataka. Our main job is, so from the remote sensing satellite, so we'll create land use, thematic maps and urban sectors, all the education, everything. So in turn we will help government to their applications. So we are now KGS our main program. So under KGS we are creating digital support system for the department to get the governance. So So that is our main topic.
As you know, EVIL is associated with the summit, and we've been participating in this ever since it's been happening. We participated last year as well, and even last year we had got the best interactive booth award, and even this time we've won the best exhibitor award. So basically what Genotypic does is we are a core genomic service provider company, and we have two sister companies, Zithiomics and Qtelomics. So Zithiomics is a diagnostic company, and Qtelomics deals with solely agri-genomics company.
So this is a summit where we expect a lot of industrial visitors as well as the visitors from the colleges as well. Not only beneficial, and also it's kind of an educational training, or sort of students get to know the equipments and the basic technology behind this. So we can display the instruments and make them understand how the instrument works and how it is useful in the research. And also to the common people, what are the equipments, they can relate to their regular work. They go to diagnostic center and they talk about some DNA forensic science labs. So how it works, they will get to know some basic about the science.
They have came here for learning more things about art and science. We saw many things like robots and making from clay many decorations things. I have learnt here many things. I feel to come again here.
Look around you, it's so beautifully done and systematically done, and it is able to handle the scale of participants and the number of people who are supposed to attend this. So this is equivalent to what you would have seen in any other large foreign country.
Talks about people, process, technology, risk, all these aspects about this topic. So I think one of the things that came through was that this is a natural evolution which is happening. We had been going through a software evolution. Now software is becoming more intelligent. We have got more algorithms which are learning, and therefore the pace of change has increased, and things are happening more autonomously while they were more manual. So that's the sort of change which is happening.
The focus of my statements to them were explaining what really differentiates a product from a non-product, and how a software product is different from other products. And therefore, if you want to build a really scalable and highly successful product company, what principles need to be adopted in the way you think about design, in the way you think about sales, in the way you think about after sales. And I think with some of the questions which came in, I believe it turned out to be a reasonably interactive session.
With the theme Ideate, Innovate and Invent, the Bengaluru Tech Summit 2017 was a power-packed event with industry captains from the ICT sector as well as policymakers coming together on a single platform to shed light on the challenges ahead, uncover potential opportunities and discuss the means to achieve exponential growth.
What is your plan and vision to sustain Bangalore as a technology capital, not only in India but in the world? Because it's a very heavy burden. It's easy to reach one stage, but to maintain that is even more difficult. So would like to get your thoughts on what is your thought process and vision to keep that process going.
So I strongly feel that if we are going to maintain our leadership in the country, government has to be a little more open. We need to have more incubation. We need to give startups more opportunities to work within the government sector, and also probably try and help them get more access to markets. That is for India. But if you want to be a global player, I think again we need to collaborate, but outside our ecosystem. Because today, if you have noticed in the last 3 days, we have had collaborative efforts with the French, with the Dutch, with the English, and Israel, Australians. And the idea is so that we can have people from our ecosystem go outside their comfort zone, understand what the world is doing, understand what their ecosystem is like, and how is it that they have been so successful in doing so. Is it they're doing something better than us? So I think collaboration is a very important if we have to succeed both in India as well as outside India.
So in terms of the collaboration, obviously, in the IT services industry, particularly KK, if you can comment on that, we have gained the leadership position. But for the startups to gain that kind of a global position, What do you think should be some of the key steps we have to take, like Minister said about incubation, building partnerships? So in your thought process, like what are the key steps that we need to take to build the same leadership position in product innovation?
I think there's a great opportunity to really think, like Honorable Minister said, to think of a global leadership position. So I think the leadership position of India and Karnataka in particular can be sustained by a much more stronger collaboration between the IT services companies and the startup ecosystem. And thankfully in Karnataka, we not only have a visionary minister, but also a great set of bureaucrats who are supporting this collaborative environment.
The conference featured globally renowned technology experts and invigorating power panels on latest trends and future opportunities. Some of the eminent themes of discussion were cloud and big data, electronic system design and manufacturing, blockchain, aerospace and defense, telecom, geographic information systems, animation, visual effects, gaming and comic sector, augmented and virtual reality, robotics and more. The conference also witnessed power-packed discussions on biotherapeutics and healthcare. Themes included diagnostics, personalized medicine, rare diseases and orphan drugs, infectious diseases, antimicrobial resistance and vaccines, agri-biotech and new technology platforms for better crops, animal biotechnology and aquamarine biotechnology, synthetic biology, and bio-entrepreneurship and biomanufacturing, amongst others. Here are some key highlights.
There's a huge product movement that's building out of India, where we're building products both for India and the globe, and we're building out a product ethos among our talent. We're building young product companies that are going to build innovative solutions that go out to the world. As opposed to the services industry, which we're already very good at, this is a new industry that's being nurtured out of India. And that was the session that we spent about an hour on today, is understanding what it takes to build India into a great product superpower over the years coming, right? And that's what we were debating this afternoon. And I think we left the session very upbeat. I think most of the folks in the room felt there was a huge opportunity to build India into a product nation, into a product superpower.
I have in my mind after this event is that it's really important the interconnection that we have between the company, the ecosystem, because this is the way with which each of the pieces of the chain may have either the business and the innovation. And this is exactly the event that helps in reaching a goal like that.
It is indeed a very proud day for all of us in the tech sector in Bengaluru and in Karnataka to celebrate the convergence that is taking place the world over in terms of technology. The Bengaluru Tech Summit is an event that is getting future ready to celebrate this convergence that is taking place. I do believe that what makes this state very unique and what makes this government very unique is the strong industry connect that the government has when it comes to technology policies. This connect with industry that makes Karnataka and Bengaluru the leading technology hub in the country and one of the leading technology hubs in the world. What is very important for me to mention here is that Bengaluru is now home almost 40% of the biotech companies that exist in this country. Today, the biotech sector has a size of $42 billion, and we aim to make it a $100 billion sector by 2025.
Over 10 years ago, we were the first global company, multinational, to have a global board meeting right here in Bangalore on the back of very large investments in the country and in the state. And I think it opened up the perspective that India and Bangalore and Karnataka are not just to solve a set of problems for the world, but this is a talent pool, an innovation pool for us to drive the next generation of technologies and capabilities for the world.
The 3-day Bengaluru Tech Summit explored the future of tech developments and saw the signing of 10 MOUs that would have a significant impact on the technology sector in the state. Industry experts believe that if Karnataka maintains its momentum of growth, by 2020, Bengaluru can give serious competition to Silicon Valley in the US for becoming the world's IT capital.